appreciate being able to travel, the small things in life so much more now. Maybe you want to add Kenya to your bucket list.
It's your feel-good breakfast show, and a respected brand, strategy and reputation authority in Africa and across the world. Thebe Ikalafeng has gained an incomparable perspective and world-class experience in building brands in Africa. He's playing an integral part in the ongoing 9th annual Buy Local Summit and Expo, hosted by Proudly South African, as he presents sessions to entrepreneurs and the public. And he's joining us via video call to chat all about it. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thebe, it's so good having you.
Kenya, I should say good morning from Kenya.
Oh, you're coming to us from Kenya. That's exciting, yes.
How's Kenya treating you on this fine day, my friend?
Kenya is treating me very well. It's a beautiful country, as you know, one of the leading countries in the continent. I've been to every single one of them, and it's certainly one that always stands out in my memory.
The traveled man indeed. Now listen, Thebe, yesterday you conducted a workshop in which you guided 20 entrepreneurs who are company members of Proudly South Africa. Now, through the process of taking a good product to a great brand. So what are some of the top tips you've shared over your beautiful 20 years of incredible strategy experience?
Well, one of the most important realization about entrepreneurs is that a lot of them are very good at coming up with ideas. But what they're not good at is how to transform those ideas into just good commodities, into great brands. So one of the things that we tried to teach them yesterday was first to understand that if you're going to build a great brand, you must be clear about how to distinguish yourself, what your brand stands for, and how you want to compete. The second most important thing is how to disrupt the marketplace. So if you look at some of the great brands that have come up in the last 20 years or so, whether it's Discovery Vitality disrupting the whole insurance industry, whether it is Uber disrupting the whole travel or taxi industry, whether it's Google disrupting the library industry, all of them have come up with an idea that is different rather than an idea that is better than the previous idea. So we talked to them and taught them how to be disruptive in their thinking. But most importantly, you can be disruptive, all these disruptive you want, but if you don't know how to deliver, then your brand is not going to go anywhere. The most critical one also is how to deliver your brand, how to take your brand to the marketplace, and finally, how to defend it. You know, the tragedy that a lot of entrepreneurs always face is the idea that they lose their ideas, that somebody has stolen the idea, so they don't know how to protect their intellectual property. So we talk to them about trademarks, about patents, and about design, how to protect their ideas, and most importantly, how to measure return on investment. To me, those are the critical ways in terms of how you build a great brand.
Thebe, I'm loving these tips you are giving. I feel like that's something I can apply to my own life. I really, really love that. And I know that tomorrow
It does apply, by the way.
It does, yes, you're right. Now, I know that tomorrow you are presenting a short session called Buy Africa, Build Africa, in which you will talk about the greater opportunities on the continent for South African companies. Isn't trading here at home in SA first prize for South African-based companies?
Sure, we learned a few things about COVID, and one is that we have to focus home. We have to focus our energies at home. We have to think local. So, of course, one of the things that Proudly SA is doing is about driving the idea of investing in local, buying local, because when you buy local, you are creating jobs, you are investing in, you are creating a tax base, you are really investing in the development of the country. But now, as part of a broader African agenda, as an African, now this year, the beginning of the year, the Africa Free Trade Continental Agreement has come into place, and the purpose of it is to move intra-Africa trade from 18% to 50% by 2030. So meaning that African businesses, whether it's South African, Kenyan, Nigerian, when I had an opportunity to be able to trade across borders. And that's always been the challenge in terms of how do you grow, because one of the ways you grow is you expand your marketplace. So it means it creates an opportunity for even those South African businesses, those South African entrepreneurs to be able to trade across the continent. So our Buy Africa, Build Africa initiative, it is really about understanding that at a micro you are thinking buy local as in buy in South African, but at a bigger picture you are thinking how do you grow the bigger pie, how do you take advantage of the opportunity in the continent. I mean, the fact that, as I said, there's only 18% intra-Africa trade means that there's a big opportunity for us to trade with each other to grow our markets. So the strategies are very related and integrated. You buy local here, tomorrow you cross the borders and continue, and with a much much lower tariffs or sometimes no tariffs, easy to move across the continent. It's an opportunity for South African brands.
Thebe, I've got to say, I absolutely love that. Not only supporting local, but of course, encouraging a community within our neighboring countries and of course, the greater good of Africa. Now, if we're encouraging South African brands to trade on the continent, how do we reconcile that with promoting our homegrown brands versus buying imported items from other African countries?
Well, to me, it's part of the bigger goal of growing Africa. See, one of the challenges that we have as a continent, we have not delivered on our promise of 1957 when the first sub-Saharan country, Ghana, gained its independence. And one of those big goals, how do we create an independent Africa? And part of creating an independent Africa is understanding that to grow the economic independence of the continent, we're going to have to collaborate. We're going to have to work together as African businesses, African business people, and as African people. So to me, they're quite related. It is part of the same agenda. I don't think we'll be taking away anything from anyone. But what I do think is we're actually going to get better, because getting better means that we are now going to learn how to compete with our fellow Africans. But we're also going to see how others are competing and how we can improve our own products.
Thank you, Thebe. I agree. Some ambitious goals for the country and the continent ahead.
Indeed. And thank you for having us over. And we must keep buying local. We must keep buying Africa, because when we do that, we're growing South Africa and we're growing the continent. And that's the most important job we have. That's our legacy.
Thank you, Thebe. That is the most important job that we have. And why don't you at home take part in the conversation around stimulating our economy during this tough economic period? You can access all the events taking place during the 9th annual Buy Local Summit and Expo for absolutely free.